Let's pick up from the previous video. So let's continue with item number 3. Okay, let's move on to our third problem. And here we want to find the area of the region being bounded by the curves y squared equals 2x minus 2 and y equals x minus 5. So this is interesting kasi yung y squared equals 2x minus 2, I hope you can see that it is not a function. Pero ano ba siya? Kung hindi pa natin siya maalala, edi i-plot natin siya ngayon. Ito yung plot nila and I'll zoom in. And you will see that y squared equals 2x minus 2. This is the equation of a parabola that opens to the right. So it's not a function. It will fail the vertical line test. So since it is not a function, hindi tayo makakagamit ng upper function and lower function dun sa sa definite integral para ma-evaluate yung area between two curves. Pero anong pwede nating gawin? Well, for starters, I could divide yung region na gusto nating kunin yung area into two regions, which we'll call region A sub 1 and region A sub 2. Kung titignan muna natin si region A sub 2, okay lang tayo dyan kasi meron tayong portion ng graph, yung green, that if we could represent that as a function, kasi yung y squared equals 2x minus 2, hindi siya function eh. Pero kung itong section lang na to yung kukunin natin, baka naman pwede natin siyang maisulat na function. And in that case, for region A sub 2, meron tayong upper function, itong part na green, at lower function natin yung y equals x minus 5. I guess we'll just need to know kung saan siya magsa-start. So you should expect that we will find the intersection of these two curves mamaya. So that will be from this x value papuntang x value na ito. So maghahanap din tayo ng intersection dito. Yun yung integral na isa-set up natin para makuha yung area ni region A sub 2. Now, dun tayo sa area ni region A sub 1, which is more problematic. Kasi yung region na gusto nating i-capture is bounded by the equation, which is not a function, na y squared equals 2x minus 2 on top and at the bottom. Siguro kailangan lang natin din i-point out na if ever nakukuha tayo ng integral sa region na to, we will need to know yung x-coordinate ng vertex kasi dyan magsa-start yung integral papunta dito sa x value dito, which is na makukuha natin pag kinuha natin yung intersection. But that's only setting up the interval kung saan tayo kukuha ng definite integral. Paano yung upper function at yung lower function in this case? Well, ang pwede nating gawin sa kanya is imaginein na instead of one curve na parabola that opens to the right, we could imagine this as two curves. Isang square root function na upper part ng parabola for the green part, then in-overlay ko nitong red line, yung isa pang square root function that in this case is the lower semi-parabola nung ating y squared equals 2x minus 2. So ang gagawin natin, hahatiin natin yung curve na y squared equals 2x minus 2 into two square root functions. Isang upper semi-parabola, isang lower semi-parabola. Let's just take a note nung mga intervals na gagamitin natin. Dun sa vertex ng ating parabola, let's call yung x-coordinate niya na A. Then yung x-coordinate ng first intersection, let's call that B. Para pag kinuha natin yung area ni region A sub 1, we'll take the definite integral from A to B. Then, yung x-coordinate nitong second intersection, let's call that C, so that when we get the area of region A sub 2, we will get the definite integral from B to C nung upper function minus lower function. So, to complete our diagram, let's just label yung portions na in-identify natin kanina. Yung upper semi-parabola na function, let's call that f sub 1 of x. Yung lower semi-parabola na function, let's call that f sub 2 of x. And yung kulay blue na line natin, let's just call that g of x. So, parehong f yung portions nung parabola natin that opens to the right. So, para consistent lang dun sa solution, let's again draw approximating rectangles. So, dito sa region A sub 1, for our approximating rectangle na i-hit natin sa x sub I, yung upper na point na gagamitin natin, that will be given by x sub I, f of 1, x sub I. And yung lower na point will have a coordinate na x sub I, f2 of x sub I. Kasi again, yung height ng rectangle na yan will be given by the difference of the y coordinates. So f sub 1 minus f sub 2. For the second region, let's again draw an approximating rectangle. Para lang malinaw, let's call this the jth rectangle. So yung taas will be x sub j, f sub 1 of x sub j, at dun sa baba, yung coordinates niya will be given by x sub j, g of x sub j. Okay, now that we've set up our figure, let's proceed na dun sa solution ng area. So let's solve muna for A. And A is the x-coordinate of the vertex of the parabola. And we observe that the vertex lies along the x-axis, so y equals 0. So we could just set y equals 0 and solve for x, and we'll get that x is equal to 1. So A is equal to 1. Next, let's solve for B and C. Gamit tayo ng substitution method ng pag-solve ng systems of equations. Si B and C siya yung x-coordinates ng dalawang intersection points natin. So, di ba, it's y squared equals 2x minus 2, tsaka y equals x minus 5. So, equate natin yung dalawang y values. We'll get x minus 5 quantity squared is equal to 2x minus 2. Expanding, we'll get x squared minus 10x plus 25 is equal to 2x minus 2. Gawin natin 0 yung right side by adding negative 2x plus 2 sa both sides. We'll get x squared minus 12x plus 27 equals 0. This is factorable, so let's factor it as x minus 3 times x minus 9, and we'll get that our x values are 3 and 9 respectively. So since 3 yung mas na una, siya yung letter B. So B is equal to 3 and C is equal to 9. So meron na tayong values for the limits of our integrals. Now, to solve this problem, unfortunately, tatalon tayong konti sa second quarter at gagamit tayo ng method of U Substitution, which is a second quarter topic. This is the first topic for the second quarter to find our A sub 1 and A sub 2 na din. Itong method na to, I've touched on this briefly nung nagdi-discuss ako ng ilang examples sa mga level 2. So, hopefully, medyo malinaw kung paano ko siya gagamitin ngayon. Magla-launch naman tayo sa kanya into more detail in the second quarter. So, first, ano si f sub 1 of x? Di ba y squared is equal to 2x minus 2? So, f sub 1 of x must be equal to square root of 2x minus 2, yung upper parabola natin, which will be our upper function. Si f sub 2 of x, this will be given by negative square root of 2x minus 2, the lower semi-parabola, which will be our lower function. And let's set up our integral. This will be the definite integral from a to b ni f sub 1 minus f sub 2 of x. Substituting the values that we have, this will be the definite integral from 1 to 3 ni square root of 2x minus 2 minus the negative of square root 2x minus 2. E di syempre, ano lang yun, magdodoble lang siya. We could just rewrite it as the definite integral from 1 to 3 ni 2 times square root of 2x minus 2. We could factor out 2 and square root of 2 from the expression sa integrand and rewrite this as 2 square root of 2 times definite integral from 1 to 3 of the square root of x minus 1. So here is our problem, yung square root of x minus 1. Hindi natin madidistribute yung square root, so paano tayo gagamit ng power rule sa kanya? So the method of U substitution is used for problems like this. So gagamitin ko na muna siya agad, and I will reserve the explanation kung bakit siya valid sa second quarter. So what I'll do is I'll introduce another variable. Let's call it U. And this is equal dun sa expression sa loob ng square root, x minus 1. Now, kailangan ko ng du. Kasi nagpapalit ako ng variable Kanina x, so may dx ako sa dulo. Ngayon, papalitan ko siya ng u, so kailangan ko ng du. And du over dx is the derivative of u, or x minus 1. And that's equal to 1. Diba? Ang derivative ng x minus 1 with respect to x is 1. Now, I will treat c du over dx as a fraction and multiply dx to both sides. So, I could get the expression that du is equal to 1 times dx or du is equal to dx. So, magsasubstitute na ako ngayon ng variables dun sa expression ko, and I'll write this as 2 square root of 2 times the definite integral from 1 to 3. Pero yung 1 to 3, these are x values. Kaya ilalagay ko muna siya na x equals 1 tsaka x equals 3 ni square root of u du. So, yung square root of x minus 1, siya ay equivalent sa square root of u. Tapos yung dx, diba, equal lang siya sa du. Kaya ginamit ko siya dyan. Now, I cannot use x equals 1 and x equals 3 as the bounds of my integration. So, kailangan ko din silang isulat as u. But if u is equal to x minus 1, and then that means if x is equal to 1, in this case, that will be u is equal to 0. And if x is equal to 3, then that would mean that u is equal to 2. Yun yung equivalent nung bounds na yun. Square root of u du. So, pwede ko na siya ngayon gamitan ng power rule. Kasi this is just u raised to 1/2. Kailangan ko lang palitan yung bounds, yung lower bound tsaka yung upper bound nung interval ko saan ko siya ini-integrate. So, imbis na x equals 1 to x equals 3, it's u equals 0 papuntang u equals 2. So, an antiderivative of square root of u is 2 over 3, u raised to 3/2. Siyempre, may 2 square root of 2 pa rin sa unahan. Evaluating this from 2 to 0, we'll get this. Okay, so pag sinimplify natin siya, we'll get a sub 1 is equal to 16 over 3 square units. Hindi pa tayo tapos. That's just the first region. For a sub 2, we'll also have to use the method of U substitution. But let's take note na ang upper function natin is yung upper parabola pa rin, si f sub 1, which is equal to square root of 2x minus 2. Pero yung lower function natin, yan na yung line, yung y equals x minus 5, which we're now calling g of x. So let's take a quick look ulit dun sa graph natin to verify. We're now looking at the second region. Upper function natin is f sub 1, lower function natin is g of x. So let's write the definite integral that will give us the area of the second region. This will be the definite integral from b to c ni f sub 1 minus g of x. Let's substitute our values. We know that b is 3 and c is 9. So ganun pa rin, square root of 2x minus 2, c f sub 1 minus x minus 5 na, yung quantity na yon kasi yun yung g of x. Gamitin ulit natin yung ginawa natin sa first step na finactor out natin yung square root of 2 dun sa loob ni 2x minus 2. So I'm just rewriting this as a definite integral from 3 to 9, the square root of 2 times square root of x minus 1 minus the quantity x minus 5. And then let's use U substitution again. Let us let u be equal to x minus 1 and du be equal to dx. Similar dun sa ginawa natin sa previous step. Let's substitute. We'll get this to be the definite integral from x equals 3 to x equals 9. Hindi pa natin muna papalitan yung upper and lower bounds of integration. Pero yung square root of x minus 1, pinalitan ko na ng square root of u. Now, paano natin papalitan yung x minus 5 para maging u siya? If u is equal to x minus 1 at meron na tayong x minus 5, then si x minus 5 must be equal to u minus 4 na lang, di ba? Now, yung dx pinalitan na natin ng du. Then let's replace yung x equals 3 and x equals 9 with 2 and 8 respectively. Yan yung u values that are equivalent to x equals 3 and x equals 9. And just to rewrite the same expression, then let's use the power rule para maghanap ng antiderivative nung integrand natin. And an antiderivative would be square root of 2 times 2/3 times u raised to 3/2 minus u squared over 2 plus 4u. This is being evaluated from 2 to 8. So I will just substitute yung 8 sa u tsaka yung 2 sa u to continue with the solving. You could pause it here and just verify na tama yung mga sinusulat ko. Ay, hindi ko na babasahin kasi medyo tedious, but should look at them as you proceed. So pag sinimplify natin siya, we'll get this. Notice na magka-cancel yung negative 32 and 32. Yung negative 2 at yung 8, that will simplify to 6. So magsusubtract na lang tayo ng 8 over 3 from 64. So mag-add ng 6, we'll get 56 over 3 minus 6. Simplifying this, we'll get our area of the second region to be 38 over 3 square units. Pero ano yung hinahanap natin? Yung total area. And the total area, of course, is the sum of the area of the first region and the area of the second region, which will give us 16 over 3 plus 38 over 3. And this will give us a nice round number of 18 square units. So that is the total area bounded by our parabola and line. Let's highlight this as our final answer. Okay, so this is the last problem for this set of problems. I hope na nakatulong siya dun sa understanding natin ng paghanap ng areas between two curves. Nakita din natin na hindi kailangan maging hadlang, na hindi function si y squared equals 2x minus 2 para ma-apply natin yung formula natin for the area between two curves na gumagamit ng function. So if you have a curve that is not a function, so magfa-fail siya ng vertical line test, if there's a way for us to split that curve para may portion siya na upper at portion na lower, which are both functions, we could still apply yung formula natin for the area between two curves. So once again, salamat sa pakikinig.